Hey, man.
How's it hanging? We are not
Hey, dude.
heavy.
Yeah, can you feel the music for a second? Sure, man. So I just got this friend request
Uh-huh.
from this guy that like looks really familiar to me, but I can't place him to save my life, you know. So I go to his page, and he's not a guy who posts on Facebook like ever, you know. So which neither am I. So I'm like, huh. So I scroll down a little bit. He's got a bunch of the same friends as me, so I'm like, oh well, he must have gone to school with me or something. Sure enough, he graduated from the same school I graduated from. I'm sure we knew each other in high school. I'm just bad at that. Well, then like a year ago, not quite a year ago, he's sharing like this other guy I knew growing up, his like obituary and shit.
Oh.
I mean, a guy I really knew well. Like, so I was just doing a little digging to find out how he died. And it looks like it's a pretty serious drug habit. But
Oh no.
yeah, just, you know, it's weird. Like, I hadn't thought of Dan Plumley in years, you know. He's not someone that we didn't stay in touch after high school at all. We knew each other pretty well in high school, like hung out outside of school and everything, you know, like not just like buddies in class, like, you know, we knew each other. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of fucks with me, man.
I'm so sorry, buddy.
I don't feel old enough for my friends to be dying, you know?
So I wanted to be practicing streaming tonight because I have to stream a memorial for a friend of mine on Saturday.
Yeah. Fuck,
And
man.
I either have to figure this shit out very rapidly or I have to call Chantel and disappoint her. I'm not really happy with either of those situations. So,
well, it should be a lot easier to stream a memorial than to stream a Zoom call, dude.
Well, no, because I'm going to need different cameras. I'm going to need to utilize different cameras. There's no way I can have a laptop and get the person speaking without a fucking laptop on the podium. Can't do it. So I can, though, utilize a phone, a spare phone, and I figured out how to make that a camera. Or I checked out an actual video camera from the Parkland Library. But I need to get into
there you go.
OBS, which is like computer studio software, and pull in the cameras and build the scenes. And it's a whole thing where like you have like, you know, the service will start in X number of minutes and there's a countdown or, you know, whatever. Anyway, it's just like it's all just a lot more. It is a lot more preparation and work than this show. Diane, I know this is fascinating stuff. Thanks for listening in, darling.
I was just gonna say it actually just sounds like you're not the right person for this like task.
I'm probably not.
Like there's somebody who streams for their church, you know.
Brother, I've been reaching out to the filmmakers and the independent video guys and the U of I kids and folks at the shows and the people at the Canopy Club who have all these video switcher guys that are streaming and gaming and twitching and doing graphics on the screen in time with the music. They're doing all kinds of this stuff. I can't find any freaks that are up to help stream. I've been looking for a producer for this show forever. And it's just either I do it or it doesn't get done. So, and then the memorial came up and it was like, all right, well, then now is the time. This is forcing me to do this because nobody else is leaning on me to do this.
Right.
Anyway, I got till Saturday. But in the meantime,
well,
I promised that I was going to put effort into the music for Diane. And then I completely kind of blew it. And Diane, by the way, I had some killer 12-inch EP remixes of some great songs that were all thematic and everything else. And I was overwhelmed. So I'm just replaying the playlist from last week that I didn't play because I was overwhelmed. You heard Merck and Cremont doing Sad Story. Heard Janelle Monáe's cover of Heroes before that. Had some Creedence Clearwater Revival Down on the Corner because Diane laughed at my CCR meme joke a week or so ago. I don't know if you saw that one, Michael or TD. It shows a picture of John Fogerty singing. It says, "When you're in San Francisco."
No, but man, I've got to switch you to my camera. I can't hear anything.
Oh, we lost all the sound.
I got to switch my audio up. I can't hear you at all. But it's because of my internet. It's like when it tries to do video and audio at the same time, it just starts freaking out.
I get it.
But yeah, it's just too much to ask the machine to do audio and video at the same time.
You kind of faded out on that, TD, but yes. I had the same thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I have the shittiest web camera of all of you. I'm trying to have the worst one, although Michael, strong contender. Anyway, and the reason is, man, because I used to have this Canon 5D, Canon EOS Rebel, like 5D, full on SLR, DSLR camera, mounted up here where the microphone is. And it would shoot depth of field. So those lava lamps would be all blurry in the background, all on their own. No filters. Me, sharp, crisp, clear. You could see my stubble and astounding HD TV detail. And and my audio is lagging. And guess what comedy needs? Audio timing. Fuck video. Nobody gives a shit what it looks like. Get the audio. So yeah, that's that. If you ever have technology and you have to prioritize audio. So fat mic with a big signal coming through it and the shittiest webcam I could find.
That's a great point.
Now, you can think about all the garbage we've sat through. We've looked at animations that were black and white, abstract. You know what I mean? But think about how long you'll watch video if the sound is 1 nanosecond out of sync.
Yeah, so true. I hate it. I hate it so much.
We all do. Oh my God, this is such good yogurt. Holy shit. Oh, that's why. I was like, why is this raspberry yogurt so good? It's white chocolate flavored raspberry yogurt.
I made a white chocolate blueberry banana for today. It's pretty good.
Didi, you sound like you are in a tube as well.
Oh, do I need to speak up more? Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, you're like, it sounds like a flange effect. It's very EDM.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. That's better.
Okay. Turn my earbud the other direction.
Now you're fading again.
I don't know.
You're in the same spot as always. Weird. Oh, Diane, this is such compelling audio right here that we are putting out for you. You're like, this is why you pay the big bucks for this level of production right here. I'll tell you what. To quote our dear friend Ron V, you have no idea how much effort it takes to make such a mediocre show.
I was going to say, this show has a budget.
You know what? This show actually does have a budget. There was one period where I did not have the $15 to pay the Zoom subscription. And I said, Michael, I can't do this show.
I coughed up the money.
Michael coughed up like, I think 20, maybe 25 bucks.
Yeah.
So I like, paid the Zoom subscription, bought some ramen.
You earned it, buddy.
I love you, Michael.
You earned all of that $10.
Dude, you are now officially the largest sponsor of the show. This show is sponsored by Quiet Michael.
True.
Okay, now I feel like I gotta cough up 30 just so I can like, no.
Now save your 30 and buy a microphone. What is going on?
I don't know. Well, I
Where's
can't.
where is the mic?
The mic is on my phone.
Okay.
You sound like
I
you got a
have-
mouthful of dicks, bud.
I have earbuds in. I can't use the normal headphones I normally use because they're the only other headphones I have that would work on this stupid phone. Because my dog hates the fucking headphones. So all I have are these earbuds. There's no way.
Dog ate my headphones. That's a
Yeah.
That's a new excuse. I mean, it sounds
Uh,
familiar though.
Actually, I know it was at least 2 of them, maybe 3.
Guys, I have a little bit of a hot take here, and
Yeah.
I'm about to say this, and I want to say that this is one of the more controversial things I've ever said on this show. So maybe it's a good thing that it's before the show starts. But here's the deal. I don't think that white people wearing dreadlocks is automatically cultural appropriation.
Mm,
Okay?
Okay.
okay.
The reason I say that is because I think our species of white people probably always had people who didn't touch their hair for long enough that it turned into that.
Locks.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't immediately have a problem with it. More to the point, I think like changing policing and like laws that are obviously racist is like more the issue. With that said, not one time in my 38 years of life have I seen dreadlocks on a white person and thought it looked acceptable. Not one fucking time. I think the reason white people should never wear dreadlocks is because it maybe people will think you're appropriating black culture. Maybe you will be appropriating black culture, but more to the point, you're going to look like shit. Just like absolute shit. I've never seen a woman with a shaved head and wished she had more hair. Not one time. I think shaved head looks great on everybody. I've never seen a person with dreadlocks and not wish that they'd shave their head.
I do have to say, I saw more like a higher dreadlock to white person ratio in this one province of Costa Rica. It's on the inner coast, on the Gulf Coast.
Mhm.
And like
Sure.
I'd spent all my time in the Pacific Coast, different clientele. But there on the Gulf Coast, a lot of surfer types, a lot of white dudes with dreadlocks. And I have to say that like it made me feel funny in ways I didn't have words or emotions for. But
Do you mean like your penis, or do you mean like emotionally?
it seemed wrong. You ever like
Yeah,
plan to go to
That doesn't say that a penguin wasn't in your penis. Just because it's wrong doesn't mean it's not your penis.
No, but I'm just saying, like, have you ever planned to go to a beach and then you get there and it's pebbles, not sand?
Yeah,
and you're
right.
like,
Yep.
oh,
Yep. Totally.
like,
Yeah, I
and
completely agree with you.
there's a pressure in your sternum that just goes, this is not right.
Yeah, the other thing is I would be like humiliated because dreadlocks always look good on black people. Like, I think dreadlocks look so cool all the time on black people. They always look like shit on white people. So I guess my point is, I think there's always been white people who look like shit. I don't think that that's like a new thing. I'm just also saying, like, I completely agree. Every time I see a white person with dreadlocks, it makes me cringe. I think it's definitely cringe. That's for sure. Yeah, it's bad. I guess I just mean, like, I don't think they're the enemy. You know, like, if I have to pick people who are like really doing damage, I'm gonna go with like the Republicans. Like, you know, I'm gonna. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, very cringe. No fun to be around. I'm against it. But I'm just more passionately against it aesthetically. That's what I need to say. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
God damn it. I don't have an animal closing story. Fuck me.
Damn it, Bobby.
I had
Put your pants on.
Nan at 7:35. Yeah.
Eric, you need to make me a co-host, my guy.
Right on. By the way, that's
All
another
right,
thing.
all right, all right.
TD, that's another thing
Yo,
you as co-host can do when Michael
what's
gets.
that?
You can make Michael a co-host.
Oh, okay.
Once I've kinged you, you can king others.
Oh,
I don't know what the limit is. I think there's like 3 or 4. I think
well,
maybe 5.
okay, so it's just like in the thing. Thing cells assimilate with the human cells.
Dude,
Yeah.
TD, you are
Who-
unintelligible.
Who says me getting stoned and watching horror movies has been a waste of my life?
I think. How does your microphone work if we unplug the earbuds? Is that a possibility? I just don't know.
Hold on. Let's find out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
This
Okay.
is a sound check. Nan and Diane.
right.
This is a sound check.
How's that work?
Oh my God.
Way better.
Way better.
Hey, fuck the earbuds.
Yes. Well, very sorry about all that.
No,
I'll fuck 'em.
no.
We used to have a legit sound check, which reminds me, by the way, TD, at some point, Matt Brown bitched and complained and used to pretend like his reason for not coming to the show was because he had never been presented with a formal run of show, which is what you call a formal run of show. So anyway, I developed a whole spreadsheet, color coded it, wrote out.
You've sent me that.
Did I?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I always thought it was so funny. He like made it out like this is a big deal, so I made it, and then like he stopped coming to the show.
You know what happened? You know what I think happened with Matt Brown is he got married.
He got married. Yeah, totally. See,
He
but
got married and then like stopped being able to hang out with the boys. Like I think that's what happened.
Well, his husband is tall, dark, and silent. Oh my God. I have exchanged like maybe 12, 14 words with that guy.
It's a good thing he's silent. I mean, because listen,
Yeah.
can you imagine Matt Brown being with somebody who talks as much as him?
Whoo.
Like that would just be so loud.
No.
Yeah.
His energy is like.
You always say love the
so-
guy. Yeah, but he's up here with the energy, man.
I asked Parker the other day. She said that she thinks of like everybody, like she compare him with an animal, and I was like, oh, I do that too. Like, what animal do you think I am? She was like, you're a giraffe,
Oh.
and I was like, I'm a giraffe. She was like, yeah. I said, why am I a giraffe? She goes, well, you're tall, you're quiet, you move slowly, and you can be dangerous when provoked.
Nice. I don't know.
I was like, that's just Daddy's road rage.
I think the giraffe has become the unofficial animal of our show. That I mean, it's like it is an animal that comes up more than any other
Comes
animal.
up a lot.
Yeah, and that's partially my fault.
That's all right. I don't
I like
mind.
to talk about their genitals.
I was
Only
fascinated.
only the elevation of the female genitalia.
I'm fascinated by the fact their tongues are blue, which I've
What?
seen, but normally on the 4th of July, when you get like a bomb pop, you get the red, white, and blue, and you finish off with a strong blue. You get that. Yeah, I like
Dude,
it.
I hung out with a couple of like high school buddies over the weekend. We met in Des Moines.
Oh, I saw the
we were at this
pictures,
bar-
yeah.
All the pictures, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Like I've known those guys since I'm in 6th grade, you know.
Aw.
So we go to this barbecue place, and as soon as we walk in, I had to go to the bathroom. So did Joey. So I know Joey's behind me, and there's only 2 urinals. So I go to the one that's like lower to the ground, just out of courtesy, you know. And Joey takes a adult-sized urinal next to me, and he says to me, do you prefer the lower one? And I said, yeah, I don't want to dip my dick in the water. He just like closes his eyes and shakes his head. He's like, I just teed you up for that one. Like, I just perfectly set you up. I was like, yeah, man, you can't speak to me. As soon as you do, I'm fucking I got something up my sleeve always. I think my son's coming downstairs.
Too funny. Did I hear
Hello?
your boy? Yeah, did I hear your boy upstairs?
I
He
did
just
earlier.
opened the door.
Ah,
You're about to hear him. He's gonna scream.
I say earlier, it sounded like a little tiny herd of something wild was running around your place.
That's right. That is a tiny herd of Sebastian. He's
All right.
feeling really sad he can't be with me right now.
I think
Aw.
our official mascot is a giraffe named Sebastian until we
Yes.
edit that.
I like it.
Yeah, I vote aye.
All right, there we go. Motion is carried.
The eyes have it.
Sebastian the giraffe. What do we call that? Our mascot, Sebastian the giraffe.
Yeah.
The giraffe's chin.
Hey, and when we do the picture of it, and we have like our silhouettes or whatever with the giraffe, TD, I'm gonna put your head just below its tail.
I love you so much, Sizemore, you beautiful bastard.
Because you're the class squatch. Yes, we'll have a
Yes,
class squatch
yes,
body,
I am.
your head. I was thinking about it. I think I'm actually just make you bald. I'm gonna make you bald Sasquatch, big beard.
Dude, I think a picture of porn was just on the screen.
What?
Did you accidentally put porn on this?
Sizemore.
I did discover something here, though. I became acquainted with Michelle Lamour, and Michelle is credited with being one of the major people to bring back burlesque. And a picture popped up from her collection that I'd forgotten about, and she's buck fucking naked. She's buck naked, like on one of those, like, it's like a cake type of thing. Anyway, but she's got the feathers on her head, like very Vegas burlesque style. She's got the high heels, but I'm not even sure she had pasties, but not a stitch. And I'm just like, I forgot I had this.
You're like, that's not the burlesque my mother did.
That's not the burlesque. No, but I mean, I think it's hilarious though that, I mean, you guys know burlesque made a comeback, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just Forrest Gumped my way into weird situations, and I just happened to be there when Michelle Lamour like started to launch her
OnlyFans?
burlesque thing. No, this is like she opened a chain of like burlesque workout things. You remember when pole exercising was a big thing?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
She swept in and got like 5-6 places up in Chicago doing burlesque gyms. But I was on the very first show. I got recruited to do this show and wear like white gloves and a tuxedo thing and a little bow tie and come out in the spotlight at the beginning and go, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, and for that I got into a really crazy show and met a whole bunch of weird people.
Sometime when we're not on, like when we're not recording, remind me to tell you about the time I picked up a gig providing security for my buddy's wife.
Wow.
He was there.
I was in the military, dude. I know what you're talking about.
Listen, I'll tell you, it was in Killeen, Texas.
Of course it was in Texas.
right outside of Fort Hood.
Yep.
Yep. Boy, that was something. We'll fill you in when we're not recording there. Don't worry.
Okay. Which is not that far off. 7:44. This is great. I'm almost loaded up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. With the news part. And, always want you guys to go long. Bring me a nice long round one. That's what I always say.
The best I could do for you, man, is a nice short round one. That's all I have, man.
We talked about this.
Don't worry. I got a big old dick.
Mine's like a tuna can, I'm not gonna hit bottom, but
One time Bryce is like, he just is like talking to somebody. I was not paying attention. I was just sitting there smoking a cigarette, and he goes, "How about you, Michael? You look like you got a big hang down."
that sounds like a very Bryce thing to say.
I was like, "Hey, Bryce." Like, good to see you, buddy. Like, he just jumps right in. You look like you got a big hang down. I also never heard it called that.
Uh-uh. It is weird when people have the gravitas to just say something you've never heard before and you understand from context. You know what I mean? From the tone, what they mean. I'm sure you guys heard my joke, man. I got onto a train and like going through Texas, this guy got on. Came into the bar car, which was a smoking car, so that's where I was the whole time. Gets on, I think in Texas, gets into the bar car and he goes, "Hooter time!" And I immediately knew he meant, "Let's smoke some weed." But I've never heard anyone call weed hooter. Or
Yeah,
I've
no.
never, but I immediately knew it.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest fucking thing. Anyway, so strange.
Yeah, I also remember in 8th grade, Chris, this kid, his name was Chris, and he was just like a little different. He's a sweet guy, just kind of different. And he said something. Somebody had done something that made him laugh. Somebody had I think somebody punched somebody else in the balls, and Chris was laughing. And I walked right into the bathroom right as somebody goes, "What are you laughing at, Chris?" And he said, and he was not trying to be funny. He was just being he just was talking. He's like, "Josh punched him right in the pee-pee." And I fucking laughed so because it's 8th grade. That's pretty old to be referring to it as a pee-pee.
Yeah.
Smidge. Yeah.
This is so fucking funny to me. He punched him right in the pee-pee. Oh,
I mean,
shit.
ding ding might have been a little better.
I mean, he could have said anything. If he had said anything and made it seem like he was trying to be funny, I think it would have been less funny. It was that you just get the sense that that's what it's called in his house. Like they still use this toddler language.
That is funny. By the way, too, I've noticed something. You find it extremely endearing when grown men say things that children say, like poop.
Well, and I still think the funniest word that a grown up can say is butthole. It's a funny fucking word. Oh, great picture, perfect timing. It's a funny fucking word. It's so descriptive.
I do love that word.
I realized this about myself, Eric, when I used to have this joke. And it's that real story, embellished some, but it was about me trying to throw a fart in the middle of this really important formation. You remember this bit?
I do.
And
Do you
so
remember when I tell people that when I first met you, I didn't like you? It was because of that.
That joke? What?
No, trying to catch a fart. I remember this. This is one of my earliest memories of your bits.
It's one of my first bits, right? Well, when I first started the bit, it was like, so I was like, I decided I'm gonna fart in my hand. I want to scoop it up into my buddy's face, put my hand on the back of my pants, and I shit. And it worked. The joke worked, but something bothered me about it. And so after 2 or 3 times of telling that joke, I realized oh, I need to change this word. So then I said, so I'm going to scoop this fart. I'm going to catch it in my hand. I'm going to scoop it into my buddy's face. Put my hand on the back of my pants, standing right there in formation. I pooped. It's just funnier. It's just funnier to say I pooped. I don't know why it's funny to me. It's fucking funny to me. I pooped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. No, it's interesting. You've made me hyper aware of this now.
Yeah. I also had a bit at the end of the time, leading up to whenever I just got, really leading up to Bash being born, which is what fucking killed all my evenings. But I used to have this bit where I don't remember the punchline, but I remember the setup was that I was like, hey guys, those of you who are heterosexual, listen. Women never told us to stop being boys. They never did. It's not them. Like, you can be a boy. And then I would go through all these different scenarios where like being a boy, you're rewarded for it. You know, like women like it when you're boyish, you're playful, when you make them laugh, you know, that sort of thing. When you're innocent in a way, like kind of saying like we somehow like chose this macho bullshit for each other. It wasn't for them. Yeah.
Right.
And I like, and then by the end of the bit, I would prove it. You know, I don't remember. I wish I could remember how it went, but I was pretty high when I was doing it. But yeah, basically, I would kind of then pull up these scenarios, and I set it up like I'm just talking to the guys. But by the end, the punchline is the girls, like in the room, the way that they would respond to the very end. But I wish I'd have to like probably have it recorded somewhere.
Well, that's
They said,
like,
"Did you see Steve?" Go ahead, TD.
I was gonna say, that's like, I went to the open mic this past Thursday, and Jesse had an open spot because I guess Sizemore didn't think he was gonna make it. So
I've taken a lot of nights off lately. It's been very relaxing. You know how much fun doing comedy is? You should try not doing comedy.
Y'all, I know, I haven't been doing it for almost 2.5 years.
No, but like,
Yeah.
when you could be obligated and you're like, no, I'm not gonna. Oh my God, it's like taking a really good dump. It's so, you're just so
But no, I did a bit that I hadn't done in 3 years.
It was good.
Just off the top of my head, I probably nailed 90% of it.
Yeah,
And I was
good.
just like, oh, okay, because just like, you have something. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we can do some comedy, sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done stuff.
Oh, fuck. I just remembered one more. God damn it.
You see, they recommended Steve Bannon get 6 months in prison.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
that's
that.
good.
Fuck, I hope it happens. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, except he's in one of those club fed type prisons. He's not going to go to federal get banged in ass prison.
Yeah, it'd just still be fucking great. Like for one of their heroes to get locked up would be awesome.
Yeah, but like I said, I want him to go to federal get pounded in the butt prison.
Look, I heard you the first time. I don't want to make jokes about rape. Not for anybody.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even think of it like that.
I know. But
It's the only.
I'm not mad at you.
Feels like
I'm not
the
mad at
only
you.
acceptable one to say, and yet, nope.
Yeah.
No.
I think maybe a big difference is I have too many friends in prison to not be aware
Fair.
Yeah, you know,
of what that means.
my cousin that's the closest to me, my middle name is William and his name is Talbert, and our grandfather is William Talbert. Anyway, Talbert went to prison. Talbert looks just like me. We're like twinsies, you know what I mean? Yeah. Except that after prison, like, there was a very different look in his eyes, man.
Yeah, man. It's like that kid I grew up with. He went away, did hard time. I think he did like 12 years. And it was like during that 12 years I was in the Army and went to war and shit. And like I came back, we came back together. He gave me a tattoo, actually, the one I have on the inside of my arm. Did a great job. I met up with him in Chicago, kind of like he gave me the tattoo for free, but me and my boys, we pulled some money together to fly him or to pay for his way to Chicago and back. So I see him first time I've seen him since we're kids, you know. He spent most of his adult life in prison. I'd spent most of my adult life in the Army. And I walked in and I saw him and I was like, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" And he's like, "You look a lot different." And here he's bald with a rat tail this long. Like just like jacked, all prison tats everywhere. And I was like, "Yeah, so do you." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, I've had kind of a hard life." And here I am standing there with a Purple Heart, you know, and I was like, "I'm not been as hard as yours, but it's not been easy." He's like, "I can fucking see you." I was like, all right, bud. So, you know, there was just this moment where we were like, hey, we've seen some shit, haven't we? But I'd choose the army over prison any goddamn day.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right.
I said that to a patient one time. They were like, this is terrible. This is like being in prison. And I was like, there's like a group around and I was of patients around and I was like, anybody here ever been to prison? And like 2 guys raised their hand and I was like, if you had to choose, and they were like, yeah, go fuck yourself. This isn't prison. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was like, I'm just saying, I know you're having a bad day, but like
Oh, God damn it. Hang on.
Eric, I want you to know I reached out to my librarian today.
Hey, how's she doing?
Doing good. She helped me with a research project.
Very nice. All right, 1 second here. I am almost ready to fire up some depressing news, boys.
You still
My
gonna
buddy
go?
Jeff. These are 2 of the guys in that picture. Jeff just wrote in our group text. He wrote, "Happy birthday, Brewer. Your mom says happy birthday to you as well from my bedroom."
Oh,
And I replied, "Oh my God, is that today? Happy birthday, Brewer, from me and Bayer's mom."
You still gonna go with the whole intro thing at the top of the show? I was listening to last week's podcast and you guys are playing with that concept.
Because we were introducing Kristen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Should we do that?
No. I mean, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay. I feel reasonably good about this. Oh yeah, where's that? Motherfucker. There we go. All right. All right. Good as it's getting. Good as it's getting. Anything else good? Holy shit. Did you see in the UK they're already asking Liz Truss to quit? She's been on the job for like a week.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, who's that?
Liz Truss is the Prime Minister of Britain right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
saw
her-
that the financial. She tried, but she's been trying to do some fucking crazy shit.
Well, her finance minister, Hunter or something, he was like, yeah, let's cut taxes on rich people. And the people were like, fuck you. And then he backed off and she backed off and said, that was a mistake. That was rash. We shouldn't have done that. I was like, I'm so unused to watching conservatives freak out about their own fucking policies. It was like just delightful and refreshing, really.
Yeah.
But nah, the party members are calling for her ouster. And I'm like, oh, that's right. They have a totally different system. The party can just be ashamed of their leader and say, quit. Oh,
I think we should adopt that.
I like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like we have a plutocracy here, right? So I think I think that's the difference. They have a republic. We have a plutocracy, and the republic is fucking better.
I don't know, man. You know what? I believe it was Saint Bill Hicks who said, "All governments are liars and murderers."
100% true.
That sounds very Hicksian.
Yeah, Hicks was like that brand of comedian. Barry Crimmins is like this too, where they're not so much comedians as they are secular pastors. They're like secular preachers. They get up there and they preach a sermon, and then it's over. And like people are like, yeah, but you laugh. I'm like, yeah, a lot of good sermons you laugh too. It's really like it's a sermon without all the God talk.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of tie Stuart Huff into that category. I get kind of very similar.
100% secular preacher.
Very similar vibes.
George Carlin, man, George Carlin.
Yeah, oh hell yeah, yeah.
Especially at the end of his career. He was just like, he was worried about us, and he was a secular preacher. He was getting up there going hey, you're fucking up.
If you thought back in his middle age, you know, he didn't give a fuck button. Yeah, now he's an elderly senior citizen. He don't give none shits.
George Carlin, 100%. I think, like, for me, greatest comedian I ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah.
I want to put him. Hold on. I want to say this. I have to add a caveat here, because he's almost not a comedian. He's like, of that class of comedian, he's the best. Like, yes, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I missed it. Who's the best?
George Carlin. But I'm saying I want to divide comedians into two camps. And I want to say I think he's the best that there is when it comes to that part of stand-up that is truth-telling part.
I'm going to present you with a counter argument.
Okay.
Would Richard Pryor be considered in that same category?
Nope, not at all. And Richard Pryor is actually the reason that I want to split it.
Hit me.
Because
that's
Richard
why I want
Pryor
to split it too. I was going to say the same thing. I want to split it with
the best period comedian period ever.
Okay.
Period.
So there's two. Okay, so that's the two sides of the coin: is Pryor and okay,
right.
I just want to make sure we were on the 100%. Same page. I was wanting to split it between those two as well.
Yeah, Pryor does some of the truth telling, but he does it much less. And whereas Carlin, Carlin's like, holy shit.
I was catching some of those truth telling bits, and that's what made me ask that question.
Yeah, he does. He does some of that. But like a difference I would say is I actually put CK in the Carlin side. I think CK is doing, like, even his bits are social commentary. There's like there's always this part of CK that's commenting on society. Pryor, fuck, man, that guy, he just knew how to make people laugh. Like, and he did social commentary too. I'm not saying he didn't have that. I'm just saying.
Sure. Okay.
Pryor's thing was he was the funniest fucking person ever.
Okay.
Like,
I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page, because I was getting the same vibe you were thinking about.
You know, I think it gets kind of confusing, because I think like Dave Chappelle, I put him on the Carlin side.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say that's another one who I was kind of on the fence about.
Carlin, man. Yeah,
okay, no, I have to say no. So Dave Chappelle, I saw him at Assembly Hall, complete letdown. Like, complete letdown.
Oh,
just saying.
I'm not talking about whether or not he's funny.
Oh,
I'm saying what kind of comedian is he?
Oh,
yeah, is he what brand of comedian? No, I think Dave Chappelle. I'll say this: some of his specials, especially like before these last whatever trio that he put out or whatever, it was some of the funniest shit. Like, especially like for my generation of comedy. The thing I'll say about Dave Chappelle is his last two albums or specials. There's a lot to be said about how transphobic and harmful they are, but I'm going to say the worst thing you can say about a comedian, and that's it wasn't funny. In fact, a lot of times there wasn't even a punchline. It was just him. It was amateur hour. It was bad.
Oh wow.
That's what I really think of his last two albums. I think they were bad.
I haven't seen them.
They weren't funny. He's like he's, in the midst of all this, upheaval because of his transphobic things he had said. He's like, I'll do this. I'll admit that what I said was wrong, but you have to admit that Hannah Gatsby isn't funny. And I'm like, what's the joke, man? Like, you're a comedian, like, some people think some people are funny and other people think other people are funny. Like, what's the joke here? I don't get it. And like,
Yeah.
there's just I think what he didn't like about Hannah Gatsby is she pulled off what he tried to do in his like penultimate album, which was she sort of crafted this like heart-wrenching, weird like TED talk, also brilliantly funny at times, and then makes you laugh and then turns around and tells you why you're fucked up for laughing, but like in a meaningful way, and then makes you laugh again, and you're fucking emotionally confused by the end of it. And like, I don't know, man. I think he lost it. I think he completely fucking lost his stuff. I don't think he's funny anymore. So too bad. He used to be funny. Whatever. Fuck him. He's got plenty of money. I'm not gonna feel sorry for him. So I said that to somebody, they were like, you can't just, who do you think you are to just say another, like a famous comedian like that's not funny? And I was like, oh, you think that's bad? I think the Beatles suck. Do you like every famous musician? Like, I can fucking like whatever I want, you prig.
All right.
Hey, was there any news this week, Eric?
I was just about to ask if we could hear some news, please.
There was.
How about the fact that I just used the word prig and then had to look it up? I did use it perfectly, but I was like, do I know that word?
You knew it well enough
Prig.
to use it perfectly.
It's in British comedies. It's in British comedies.
Is it?
Prig. Yep.
British comedy was my nickname in college.
Interesting.
Everybody would all say, there he goes, old British comedy. And they'd be referring to me.
I think you might have misheard them. All right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because I always think whenever I look at LeBune, I just see like, is that LeBune or Monty Python?
Yeah,
like they're so similar.
Sure.
Because of my jank ass teeth.
Well,
good night. That's gonna be the funniest joke of the night, dude.
It's weird because I'm Eric and I'm often idle. I don't know. It's interesting.
What is he? Yuck mouth. He says, Riley, he's like,
mouth because I don't
brush
like my.
That's what he says.
This.
He goes, fuck you. Fuck the plane you came in on. Fuck your loafers. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. He's like, fuck Guy Ritchie and fuck the Queen. That's my favorite fucking Riley scene ever from Boondocks. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth and fuck the Queen.
So good. All right. Stopping this share, taking a sip of water, and cranking out a show, people.
All right.
I wish to God.
Crank one out.
I wish to God if I had one more set of hands, we could have been streaming live. Oh, right in time for our attorney. Boom.
Just in time. Our legal counsel gets here just in time. Johnny on the spot. Nothing has changed. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Emma. We're starting right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, as soon as Emma's audio is connected, because I gotta give her a shout out. But I'm all lined up here. Yep. I'm just gonna.
Emma's been sending me some quality memes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Emma's on, Eric. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah. So Emma, you sent me that really wonderful meme that said, being an attorney has really shown me the passions in my life, like doing anything other than being an attorney.
It's so true.
Anyway, I sent it to my cousin who graduated magna cum laude and has passed the bar in Ohio and Kentucky, and he LOL'd at that.
Hey, Emma, I have a 12-year-old daughter who has decided that she might want to pursue a career as a lawyer. Would you be like open to having maybe like a 15-minute Zoom call where she could ask you some questions about being a lawyer?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. I'll set it up. I'm teaching her this, like I'm trying to teach her, like, when you have something you want to do, talk to somebody who's doing that thing you want to do.
Yep.
And ask them how they do it, and then go from there. Informational interviews.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent advice, Michael. Excellent.
It makes sense.
I don't know. Thank you. I don't know how else you know how to get anywhere or do anything. You know, like you gotta.
Right.
No reason to reinvent the wheel.
Well, teach her how to start networking young. She'll get very far in life with that.
No, but I just like.
Yeah, it is also
the
networking.
I think the two most important lessons are A, figure out what you want to do, and two, figure out somebody who is doing it. Because like you're never going to get any advice. You go to the wisest person in the world. You know what they're going to tell you? What they did. Do you know that's all you're going to get out of them? That's
Right.
it. So it's important to like figure out what you want and then go to somebody who did it.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
I wish somebody had pulled me aside and told me that. Seems very, very valuable.
The problem is comedians don't help you. You go to a comedian and you're like, all right, so how did you get here? And they're like, look, man, I just started doing coke and then started staying up too late. And then I had sex with this lady and she let me headline at, this fucking comedy club. I don't know. Do that. You're like, cocaine and promiscuity? Like, it's cocaine and promiscuity? That's fucking, that's the secret ingredient?
I don't want to advocate cocaine and promiscuity, but it's always worked for me.
That's why you're a famous comedian.
Yeah.
Apparently, I should have had higher standards for my cocaine and promiscuity.
I'm going to say, I think you're just like one bump and like one trick away from a Netflix special, man.
That's it, man.
Dude, I've seen enough of them to realize I think we all are.
Yeah, that's really true. I've seen some bad ones.
You are 3 viral tweets away from having a special.
Yes, that's all it is, man.
No, it was the craziest thing. Yeah, I invited one of the kids from the show, and he paid no attention to Zoom, paid no attention to comedy, paid no attention to Facebook. But I said podcast, and he went, "Do you have a podcast?"
It's so funny.
Yeah,
I know.
And then one of the other kids like kept casually slipping into every conversation topic. His recently acquired 75,000 followers, like just casually connected it to nothing 3 times.
Yeah.
And then before I could make fun of him not being paid for that, he said, not like Facebook's gonna pay us for that or anything. They fucking suck. And I'm like, so yeah, I don't know what to say.
Hey, Eric, was there it's 8:15, man. If I'm going to be able to do the end of the show, we have to start now.
All right. We're going to do it fast, and I'm going to be light on mine. So it's all you guys. Okay, Andrew, earlier you were saying something about doing intros. So do you want to do that for the beginning here? What do we pick?
No, Eric, just do a normal show. He was being silly.
Ignore me.
Just rock and roll.
Okay, but I do feel like I should say your guys' names somewhere near the beginning. All right.
This is like our 77th show.
That's true.
You got this.
All right. I always have it. I have also stopped caring.
Ladies, gentlemen, both, neither. Ladies, gentlemen, both, neither. You got this. Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the... Somebody stepped on me.
You like it, you masochistic bitch.
I don't. You're projecting again.
Yep. Go get the stilettos.
Ladies and gentlemen, neither and both. Welcome to an episode of Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host, Eric, joined by my lovely co-hosts, Andrew and Michael. They're going to have some funny memes. They're going to have some funny memes, but first, I'm going to do the depressing news as quickly as I can. Start the clock. All right, first off, today,
news.
the big thing was kamikaze drones hitting Kyiv. despite Putin's claim of no further airstrikes. Not only that, apparently they were targeting the heating supplies for the people of Ukraine and Kyiv. So just war crimes. Fresh buzzing drone attacks. I couldn't even get a body count on that. The drones, by the way, were made in Iran, which is weird. And then Iran came out and said, well, those aren't our drones. But they're like, yeah, but there's Persian writing on them. They're your drones. Like, oh, well, we didn't sell them to them. So anyway, very weird. And speaking of Iran, at least 8 people were killed in a fire at Iran's notorious Evin prison. That's the one in Tehran where they keep all the political prisoners, which keeps coming up a lot because of all the protests and riots over there. Because that's where they send, those uppity women that don't wear their hijab in public. So God knows what all is going on over there. But I hope the Persian people are fed up enough to just knock these guys out of power. Speaking of people who should be knocked out of power, down there in Florida, the governor, DePenis, his migrant relocation program planned to transport 100 or more immigrants to Delaware and Illinois, documents obtained by CNN show. So he was planning on doing all this stuff, and he was interrupted by a hurricane that actually required him to be the governor of Florida. So anyway, that's fun stuff. Friend of the show, Chris Green. I only threw this in because Nan knows Chris. He is talking about a very momentous time at the Supreme Court. He is a very active animal rights worker, and there are all kinds of decisions that are coming up in the Supreme Court dealing with animal rights. And I know you're saying to yourself, but that's not really my thing. Andrew, this is going to affect bacon. Moving on. Friend of the show, Steve Rendell, I don't know, we're all cheering that Tulsi Gabbard, former representative from Hawaii and presidential candidate, who was one of my favorite people to highlight because she was the only person who's talked about, shrinking the Defense Department budget, ending war, bringing troops home, just all kinds of things you just never hear in the media at all. Anyway, she has finally declared that she is no longer in the Democratic Party, now that it is, and I quote, under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness. So those really woke warmongers are just too much for Tulsi. So she's going to go take herself a big gig on Fox News, I'm sure, and make lots of money. Hey, but some people are getting consequences. As we're going to press, Steve Bannon could get 6 months in prison, the government says. And we're all cheering for it. Prosecutors want 6 months. We want 6 months. Everybody wants 6 months. In another Supreme Court, in another court rebuff, the special master said that Trump's Mar-a-Lago records and claims lack substance. So that has been rejected. Judge Raymond Deary suggested the assertions of privilege by the ex-president lack evidence for a ruling to be made in his favor. So, boop, you lose, loser. Speaking of losers doing dumb things, Herschel Walker flashed a fake police badge at the debate and gets trolled online. In a debate, where he was basically called out for not being a member of law enforcement, he pulled out his badge that he was given as an honorary member of law enforcement, and then the Sheriff's Association that gave him the badge said, no, that's actually honorary. And when a reporter followed up with him and said, but the people who gave you that say it's honorary, he said, well, they're wrong. Speaking of weird comeuppance for bizarre bros, El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment, $60 million lost, $375 million spent, very little to show for it. That's so weird. The third world country fell for Bitcoin and didn't make $1 bajillion off of it. That's, I'm so sorry for them. The AP News, I don't know if you caught this one, but the Governor Whitmer kidnap trial, the judge dismissed a juror that she accused of flirting. That's right. Look at this defendant here in the tie. That's sexy hunk of man meat here. Was attracting a juror, and apparently they were like winking or doing, eye faces at each other or something. But to the extent that enough other attorneys and people in the court noticed, and they dismissed the juror, which I didn't know was a thing. Oh yeah, and in important news, the governor's kidnapping trial still cranking on. Don't know if you guys saw this one. Elon Musk has been given Starlink internet service to the people of Ukraine, and he asked the Pentagon if they would cough up maybe $10 million for that, because the Pentagon's buying a lot of bullets and missiles and sending those over to Ukraine. He's like, hey, man, can I get a piece of this action? And the Pentagon said no. Then he was just like, oh, well, fine. So he's like a petulant little bitch, but he's going to keep providing internet. So let's all cry for Elon. Oh, right. That is in the wrong place. Here's a weird one. Lauren Boebert denies the claim that she shot and killed the neighbor's dog. Did you all hear this? Yeah. Politician shot her neighbor's dog. I mean, she's whenever a politician denies something, I assume they did it. And yet Boebert is clearly favored to win Colorado's 3rd district. I mean, just whew. You can even shoot a dog these days. That's how fervent the cult is. I don't know if you guys are catching that, but yeah, that's weird. Speaking of culty people, you guys remember last week when we were talking about Kanye getting banned from Twitter because he was declaring DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people and being just a complete lunatic? Well, so he got kicked off Twitter. So he then announced that he was going to buy Parler. And he was being coddled and encouraged quite a bit by Candace Owens. I don't know if you remember Candace Owens, but at Paris Fashion Week, Candace Owens and Kanye showed up in White Lives Matter shirts because she's an attention whore. And you might wonder, wow, it's really weird. Why would you, get so much attention and go so far out for Kanye? But it is a little bit easier to explain that Candace Owens' husband, George Farmer, is the CEO of Parler. So it's not so much, coming out to support your friend as exploiting your rich, mentally ill associate. So they're going to sell Parler to Kanye, which is losing people, losing money, losing everything. But she and her husband will do just fine. So the really big news last week was at the January 6th Select Committee hearings. A lot of people said they sprung an October surprise. It was actually, a pretty decent season finale. It was a clip show. It was a wrap up. It was a highlights of the season kind of a thing. And probably the biggest thing that came up that was pretty crazy was that the Secret Service deleted all of the texts. And then when they wanted to talk to Ornato about it, he just quit and went into the private sector. I also found out that the Secret Service was forewarned repeatedly for weeks before January 6th that the Oath Keepers were there, that they wanted an insurrection, that they were heavily armed, that they had murderous intent. So this was not an intelligence failure. Secret Service clearly had all of that information. And multiple people were saying that there was evidence of presidential involvement. And then, of course, the climax of the entire episode, a subpoena for Trump, which is great. But I really want to see Oprah up there talking about you get a subpoena and you get a subpoena and everybody gets a subpoena. And until then, I shall not be satisfied. And that pretty much the news for Facebook for the Blind for October 18th, 2022. Now handing it over to my exceptionally quiet and muted during my comedic news depressing headlines. Quiet Michael. Oh, wait, I forgot one last one. October 13th, Daily Show headline, Kanye West, Tommy Tuberville, and LA City Council all competed on the amazing racism.
That's a good joke. I'll have you know that I was not quiet during your news. I just didn't know I was muted. So we're starting off with dumb bitch juice.
Hey,
round.
Friend of the show, dumb bitch
This is,
juice.
The picture of a white woman wearing sandals and a hippie dress, and she has long white person dreadlocks. And it says, "If you can't handle me when I'm broke, you don't deserve me when I have $60." Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul. We love Trash Can Paul. If you're not following Trash Can Paul, then you fucking should be. He says it's a picture of Vlad the Impaler. Trash Can Paul says it's never too late to start believing in yourself. Vlad the Impaler didn't even start impaling people until his mid-30s. So
There you go.
there you have it. It's another Trash Can Paul. It's just a picture. It's just a picture of Gandalf the Grey with huge tits. There's just nothing else to say. Do we need to, was there more to say about that, Andrew?
I'm just so confused, man.
Oh yeah,
it's making me feel tingly, but it's also repulsive. Like, I don't get it, man.
let me explain. It's Gandalf the Grey,
Yeah,
but if he had huge tits.
huge, gigantic mummy milkers.
That's right. Diego Lopez, friend of the show, Diego Lopez says, because of inflation now, there are 7.5 wolves inside of you. It's chaos, and no one is cleaning up in here. Jesus memes for liberation. Say, when she's a perfect 10, and it's a picture of Hank Hill, and there's a woman wearing a bikini, and he's holding his hand out, telling her to stop. And it says, when she's a perfect 10, but she still thinks inflation came from the COVID unemployment benefits. And Hank says, I'm going to have to reject your advances. Kristen at Hexprax says, fuck small talk. I want to talk about the name of your first pet. What street you grew up on? Your mother's maiden name. I got two more memes for this round. This one's from Calms Comics. And it's a guy leaning against the bar. We see the back of him. He says, did it hurt? And someone off panel says, excuse me? And he turns and lowers his sunglasses and says, when you fell from heaven. And then we see who he's talking to, and it's like a biblically accurate angel, like a wheel within a wheel with eyes everywhere and wings everywhere. And then the final panel is him holding his sunglasses, and his face and eyes have caught fire. At NCT Cookie says, I have a scary joke about math, but I'm too squared to say it.
Oh wow.
That's too
That was
squared.
painful.
That's a smart dumb joke.
Because it sounds like too scared, but it's actually 2 to the power of 2. 2 squared. Last one for this round, Trash Can Paul. The picture of John Lennon, then a picture of God. Next to John Lennon, it says, John Lennon, quote, imagine there's no heaven. God, quote, imagine there's no John Lennon. John Lennon, then a picture of God. Next to John Lennon, it says, John Lennon, quote, imagine there's no heaven. God, quote, imagine there's no John Lennon. That's all I got for round one. Fuck the Beatles. Over to you, Pete.
It is fascinating to me how fervently you dislike the Beatles and why we never heard about it before. Is there something that's brought it up recently, out of curiosity?
I want you to know, I go on the first anti-Beatles campaign that I went on was in high school.
Okay.
And no, that's wrong. Junior high, my first anti-Beatles campaign. Turns out people get really fucking mad when you start saying things like the Beatles are shit, or the Monkees were a huge influence on the Beatles, which is a joke from Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, people got like offended by that. And so then I kind of laid off for a while. I was like, okay, I actually went through and listened to the Beatles. I've listened to like every Beatles album that's out, just to have an informed opinion.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm not going to go through it all, but basically, yeah, I go on these anti-Beatles rants. It's what's in my heart. And then I have to back off because I start feeling isolated and alienated from the world because people really, really love the Beatles.
Yeah, I think you should feel alienated.
Nah, they're not that good. I my real opinion about the Beatles is that They suck.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
So I just have to say something, Michael, because
See, it's a religion for these people. Go ahead, man.
no.
Tell me about my
No,
blasphemy.
you're not letting me finish, Michael. You're not letting me finish. So I have.
It is technically our show. Go ahead.
I have to say, I haven't really liked the Beatles that much either. I mean, they're okay. Like I'm more of a Stones fan or Led Zeppelin fan, but I've been watching the Hard Day's Night documentary, the 3-part documentary, and I have I won't say much more respect. Maybe I do. It's phenomenal to see how in like 2 weeks with like just fragments of songs they can come together and produce something so great. And I will say, like all these years, I've always thought that like, oh, John Lennon was like the big boy in the group or whatever, like he was the really talented one. But when you watch A Hard Day's Night, Paul McCartney.
It's Paul McCartney. Yeah,
like,
he's a songwriter. Yeah,
I mean,
look,
he's brilliant. He's like, and then George Harrison is like the next best one. John Lennon is kind of like underneath those.
That's that's the truth is my real problem with the Beatles is John Lennon. You're exactly right.
No, the real problem with the Beatles for me is Yoko Ono.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, because if you watch
John Lennon was an elitist piece of shit.
Well,
he was an elitist piece
but when
of
you
shit.
watch this Hard Day's Night, and maybe it's both of them, you watch this, they are just freaking too codependent. Like, because I was in Codependence Anonymous for 4 years. I know a codependent relationship, fucked up codependent relationship, like really weird codependent. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about the Beatles.
All I had to say, like, I think I would like to amend my initial statement and say instead of saying fuck the Beatles, I want to say fuck the Beatles, especially John Lennon.
There you go.
That seems fair.
There you go.
That's as diplomatic as I can get.
There you go.
That's all I got.
And I might throw
off to you, TD.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. And I got it
Yeah.
right.
It's time for TD's infamous short round 1.
Now for short round 1 with Tiny TD.
Okay, doing round 1, the wholesome round, as we call it. And
the wholesome round, trademarked, patented segment of Facebook.
And I went for the most wholesome ones I could find right off the top here. Start off with Deborah M. post. A picture is like a mugshot of a woman. She's kind of got like the junior Karen haircut, but we'll call it like the Becky because it's not blonde. And she got this smirk look on her face, and it says, "Naked woman chases Jehovah's Witnesses off of her porch and down the street yelling, 'Succumb to my devil vagina magic.'" And I don't know if we should be or worshiping her as a god.
That's fantastic.
That's like the best way I've ever heard to get rid of a Jehovah's Witness. Other than like drawing a chalk outline of a human body, putting some crime scene tape and sprinkling some religious pamphlets around.
Right.
Okay, all right, moving on.
All right. Next.
Other directions, senor.
Oh, lo siento, querido.
Okay. Also, continuing the wholesome round. It says, when you think your job's shit, just remember you could be Maria the dildo dipper. And it shows a woman working at a dildo factory taking a particularly large and girthy product and dipping the head of it, if you will, into a solution. It makes it less of the fleshy color and more of a pinkish color. And that's all I want to talk about that. Thank you very much. Moving on next.
Let me get some of that dip.
Okay, friend of the show, Disney After Dark, post proof the new Mario movie wasn't made by Pixar. On the left, we have a picture of, I believe, GameCube era Mario, which is like a dump truck of a just popping ass, just big old pieces of cake. And then you go to the right, where it's a picture from the new Mario Brothers movie they got coming out, And he looks like a frog stood on his hind legs and tried to put on a pair of pants. Just flat ass syndrome, no cake.
Dude, that is Hank Hill's ass.
Yes. And you all know that Pixar loves to make badonkadonks. That's their thing. So yeah.
They really do. And I just want to say that as a person with concave ass, I appreciate the representation in a new Mario movie.
I feel you. I feel you on that one. All right. Memes posted a bite from a Brazilian wandering spider can cause an erection that lasts up to 4 hours. And it's this ginormous, creepy looking spider with big old looking fangs on someone's arm. And then some anonymous person commented on the fact that the spider bite can give you a 4-hour boner. He goes, "We really need to save the Amazon." And I think that's what's gonna motivate these people, these rich white people, to get off their ass and like actually make some change for the rainforest. Is a spider to make their dick harder than Chinese algebra. Okay, safe word. Friend of the show, Barb Huffer, she posts something from I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it's just got a picture of Bert from Sesame Street just with the 100-yard stare for you veterans out there. You know what I'm talking about. And it just like superimposes just like he's having a flashback like Vietnam or something with the helicopters and troops and everything. And it just says retail workers once Mariah Carey starts singing. We're only about 5 weeks out from the Christmas music, folks. It's coming. My retail workers, I used to be one of you. I understand. You'll get through this.
Oh man.
Friend of the show, Jason Jester, posted a picture of Roger the alien from American Dad. He's all beat up. He's got bandages, bruises, black eye, holding a glass of wine and a cigarette. And it just says, when she does Kegel exercises, and Roger's going, "I got beaten up by a taco."
Oh, God.
The best Roger I can do, guys.
That was a great Roger. Well done.
Which is really just Paul Lynn. Okay, the last one I got. Thank you. The last one for this round I got is from Disgruntled Vets Nation. Follow them. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll go, "What the fuck?" But it's got a picture of a young woman, probably mid-20s, early 30s, maybe somewhere in there, kneeling on a beach next to a kangaroo. And it says they are cute and harmless, but they look cute and harmless and whatnot, but they are loud, incredibly expensive to keep, and absolutely untrainable. The other one is a kangaroo, and I really don't know anything about kangaroos.
Nice.
I concur with that. That's what I got for the wholesome round.
All right.
Sizemore, go.
Okay. Oh yeah, you say it like I can just immediately turn it off and turn it on again. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I was just fucking with you, buddy.
We got to get Jason Jester on this show, man. I
We
fucking
do.
love that guy.
He posts the best memes.
He's fucking great.
Indeed. Okay, hang on. All right.
I
No,
haven't talked to him in so long.
Jason Jester. I forget who that is, actually, to be honest with you.
Big old boy from Pekin.
Jukebox. He does a lot of jukebox comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He makes me look like a medium.
Big old boy.
All right, well, for the wholesome round, sticking with that, here are a few things that I set aside because they were wholesome. This is the four-legged tree in Cedar Falls, Iowa, care of Weird Pictures and Everything. 100 years ago, John Herring planted 4 trees. He wanted to bring back like some archways from his, home of Berlin, and he grafted these trees together, and there are 4, it's 4 archway trees grafted together. I mean, those things, that's got a pretty good trunk there. 3 of them pretty thick. One of them's thin. One of the front right trees died, and he had to replace it and grafted it in, hence the lesser girth of that trunk. But the four-legged tree in Cedar Falls, Iowa, 100 years old, actually 107, and I thought that was pretty cool, so thought I would share it.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
From from The Onion, America's only news source. Study finds goosebumps caused by psychotic weirdo masturbating to old photo of you. And we have a picture of goosebumps, and I'm getting them now. This next one's from D. Earl Stevens at Earl of Enough. Says, note, if you believe the party that attacked our country, beat up cops, tried to kill the VP and speaker, stole top secret documents, and tried to burn our democracy to the ground, is going to stop crime in this country, well, I got an honorary badge to show you.
That's a fucking good joke.
That's a good one.
That's a good joke.
Friend of the show, Mark Ziepesauer shared that one with the caption, all part of the Biden crime wave. Oh, so fun. And one of my favorite responses to all kinds of Herschel talk all this week, this picture here, where he's at the debate and he's holding up his honorary badge and it says Paw Patrol. I gotta tell you what, checked in with my local Tea Party barometer, who I like to to bounce ideas across, just see what they're saying over there in the red MAGA hat crowd. And Mom said, yes, but Herschel Walker, the sheriff got on, and the sheriff of Johnson County, he said, well, if there's an emergency, he can come. So it's not fake. It's not bogus. I was like, it's honorary. The association said it's honorary. And he said the association that gave him the badge is wrong. Anyway, that's what's happening over there. That's what's happening over there, folks. Hey, friend of the show, Mike Kaplan, came through town a while back. Mike, thanks for listening to the show.
Love you, Mike.
He posts this. These are LinkedIn's top picks for jobs that it thinks I might want at the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. So we have top job picks for you. Senior Director, Social Campaign Management for MLB, Head of Game Production at the NBA in New York, and Director of Digital Media Business Development at the NFL. And Mike says, for anyone who's worried about the robot overlords coming to know us better than we know ourselves based on this algorithm, I think we got a good amount of time to prepare.
Yeah.
Oh, that is one hot take, Mike. Thank you so much. This one's just another bit of wholesome stuff here from the buds, but that's a picture of the Round Bar restaurant up there. That's was a barbecue place, and there's been a whole bunch of things, but that's a picture of it before it was all that stuff, just out in the middle of fields and stuff. And anyway, they removed some scratches and enhanced it a little bit, and thought that was pretty cool. You know what? I can't really describe this that well. It's a black and white photo of a round barn with some houses in it, and that round barn is now in the middle of a commercial district, so it looks funny to those of us who know, which is, these 345 people here. Sorry, wholesome part. Hey, here's a little post from Smile and Shine that says, if one door closes and another opens, your house is haunted. You need to run.
Yeah.
I like that. I never thought of that. The door opens. Yeah, it's good. The Goodwill librarian passed along this picture, says, I asked a librarian if they had any books on paranoia, and she whispered, they're right behind you.
Stupid.
This is a little point of clarification on the FB4tB, a weekly memecast page. Abs Enjoyer of Things says, all this squirt is pee, squirt isn't pee discourse. Squirt is a caffeine-free, citrus-flavored, carbonated soft drink created in 1938 in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm going to see if I can pop one more in here. This is just because I love funny headlines. This was actually my post with the most, so it's kind of funny. Futurism.com posts $1.2 billion metaverse, horrified by a report it only had 38 active users. So there's a picture of, I don't know, I guess Mark Zuckerberg's avatar. Is he's one of the few with legs, I guess. Maybe he's the one that
You got to
got
change it. We can't see it.
Oh no, you can't see it. Oh, for frack's sake.
No.
Thank you for saying something. How weird. Oh, that. Yeah, okay. I didn't think I could do it. Man. Bummer. Okay. Oh, because I tuned it in. I get it. All right. Oh, this is a great part of the show, by the way, guys.
We'll fix it in post.
This is the technical.
Yeah,
These are the technical difficulties.
we got the best editing team in the business. We're good.
We do. Of all the editing teams for Facebook for the Blind podcast, we have the best.
Word.
This is amazing. I can't actually. I have zero idea how to get back to it. That's so.
If you're listening to the podcast right now, you would never know that our show just came to a screeching halt. That's why. But you don't know that because you're hearing an edited version.
Yeah.
But right now in real time, the show is not happening.
I'm just gonna have to say that I already read you the headline, and that's as funny as it gets. Is that they spent close to $2 billion. There's 38 active users. It's just Mark Zuckerberg's avatar walking around in a circle, empty streets, nothing going on. My friend Steve Townsend says, "Wait till the homeless start begging for money on the street corners." Like, yeah, that's cool. Lastly, I just want to say, and this is just kind of a weird thing here, but one of the big parts of the January 7th hearing, and I hope you can see this, I think is, they showed some behind the scenes footage from Pelosi's daughter, who actually had the foresight to have a film crew with her on January 6th when it all took place. So we got lots of behind the scenes. And we saw Nancy Pelosi on the phone with governors, calling up people, asking for police support, asking for National Guard support, trying to resolve the problem at October 6th. And, and not just watching TV, although at a certain point she is watching TV because they're breaking windows live on TV. But trying to work out jurisdictions and being really competent. And I just got to say that I was mad that this made me kind of like Nancy Pelosi, and that just doesn't sit well with me. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer did chime in, and I still don't like him, and didn't think that was very good at all. But I checked in with my mom, and I said, "Did you see the video of Nancy on the 6th?" And she said, "Oh, where she said she wanted to punch Trump out?" And I was like, "No." She says, and I said, "No, where she's calling and she's asking for troops to come in there." She says, "Oh, I thought they didn't want troops." So if you're wondering what the narratives are in the other universe, Nancy's competence, which irritates me because it's so clearly being demonstrated right here.
Day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the instigation of the President of the United States. And now
I don't think that got onto right-wing news at all. So just so you know. And it irritated me to no end. That it made me kind of like Nancy, because I don't want to like Nancy. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Michael, for round 2, the irreverent round.
So first of all, hilarious round, Eric. Great job.
Oh yeah, totally.
Let's start with friend of the show. I'm just playing. It's been a rough week. Friend of the show, Adrienne Marie Brown. We love you, Adrienne Marie Brown. Thank you so much for the memes, the cards, the letters. Dear friend of ours.
Such a peach.
Picture of a couple walking on a nice trail in the middle of autumn. A lot of leaves and shit around them. They're looking at each other lovingly and holding hands. She says, "My lips are so dry." He says, "Doesn't that hurt when you walk?" Her, "What?" Him, "What?"
So stupid.
So stupid. This says it's not attributed to anyone. It's just white background with like black font, and it says, "Used to sneak out my house to go to parties. Now I sneak out of parties to go to my house." And I'll be damned if that is not exactly true. Wow. Here it says forbidden cats and formed in a triangle. There's a raccoon on the bottom left, a fox top and center, and then a red panda bottom right. These are forbidden cats. Trash Jones says, one time when I worked as a host at a fancy restaurant in LA, Joaquin Phoenix's people called to try to book him a last minute table for that night. And I said, more like walk in Phoenix. And they literally hung up on me. Stupid. Trash Can Paul, he's back. Says, people always say cyclists need to be more afraid of cars because in a collision, the car wins. Doesn't have to be like that. We can both lose. And it's a picture of a bicycle with a propane tank strapped to it. I got about 4 more memes for this round. I'm going to hand it over to TD. This is from Butt Stuff at DM Butt Stuff.
Yeah.
Who says, I'm never flying Spirit again. And you can see there's just a picture of some really creepy looking men's like legs and feet that are touching the ceiling. What is this? Is this monster feet?
I would say, as a man who wears size 13 shoes, those are very large looking feet.
I think this has got to be.
Granted, Spirit has very small looking airplanes.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to actually say that this is some kind of Halloween hat. Anyway, I'm with you, Butt Stuff. No surprise there. Lukewarm tweets at Luke Jarrett says, me. Actually, that's Frankenstein's monster. Friend, oh, my bad, puts down energy drink. Frankenstein, don't sweat it, bro. People you say it's not Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein's monster. Anyway. Quirked up George Costanza. That's quirked up George Costanza. George, listen, we don't know what we think about you yet. He says, I hate shower sex. The drain hurts my dick.
Oh,
Nice.
I think this is my last one for this round. Yeah, that's right. Jeff Melnick says, older kid just taught me to make fuck a contact in my phone so it stops autocorrecting me to duck when I text.
oh my!
I believe that
God.
children are the future.
That's
And
Holy
I gotta
shit.
say, I tried it. It works.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I want one.
You can. You just put someone, just add a contact. I didn't even add a phone number. I just created a contact, named it fuck. Now my phone
Dude.
says fuck.
You
Like-
have to do fucking and all of the other ones as one person's name as a contact. You got to add
That's
all
it.
of the persons.
Right. That's a really good point. Because if I write motherfucker,
Dude,
it's not going to work.
do you know how
Yeah.
many different ways I say it? I can't do that's an awfully long.
But every
word.
time, but thank you, legal counsel. To her point, every time you come up with one that doesn't work, you just edit the contact and add it to the name, and that's the last time you have that problem. Every time, but thank you, legal counsel. To her point, every time you come up with one that doesn't work, you just edit the contact and add it to the name, and that's the last time you have that problem. So if you're like, I'm so tired of this fuckery and it doesn't come up, then you just change fuck to fuckery, which actually sounds like a Mary Poppins song. Fuck
It
fuckery,
does sound
fuck
like-
fuckery,
yeah.
fuck fuckery.
My question though is, for this legal counsel, is she doing this pro boner, or do we have to do the retainer thing?
Hey, no talking about pro boners around our attorney. Okay?
Sorry, counsel.
No.
That made
she's,
him
no.
laugh.
The way, Andrew, the way I understand it is we don't have to pay her because she has a retainer. Something about
Okay.
her
word.
teeth. I don't know.
Okay.
I dated a
yes,
couple
okay.
girls with retainers.
We'll take it up between her and her orthodontist. Okay.
Her orthodontist somehow pays for our legal counsel. I don't get it either. It's
Man, how are
legal
you
stuff.
getting religion mixed up in all this?
Mumbo jumbo.
Not the methadones.
Saying talking about her orthodontist, priest or some shit. I mean, like strictly professional.
I don't think she goes to a United Methadone church or nothing. It's a different. completely separate orthodontics.
I don't know why I just got this in my head that somewhere out there is a legal drugstore called Friar Fentanyls. I don't know why. I'm gonna Google that after the show. Oh, Rhett, you're gonna run all right, you ready there,
Yeah,
TDC?
yeah, hey, I'm just enjoying the ride there, Buttercup. All right, starting off number 2, the
Unisigudo.
other
Okay.
round.
Okay, there we go. And
The
Unisigudo.
other
Okay.
round.
Okay, there we go. And you're on.
Okay, cool. Hey, friend of the show, the Bob and Tom Show.
Oh.
They have posted a picture here. It's a little tiny brown leaf floating in the bottom of a toilet there. And it says, absolutely disgusting. You go to use the bathroom and a vegan has left a floater. Eat a goddamn hamburger is what I'm saying. All right.
No.
Love hamburgers. All right. Friend of the show and friend of the universe, Tim Curry. Not the Tim Curry post. I totally respect your religious, that you're not religious, darling, as nor am I. If you could at least wait till I'm fucking dead, though, that'd be smashing. And that's a response to someone saying, I'm not religious, but I believe Tim Curry is having a good time in the afterlife. Tim Curry, still not dead.
Nice.
Famously not dead.
You're famously still kicking. I love Tim Curry. All right.
Okay.
Next one we got coming up here is from I Am Awesome Sauce. It's got a picture of a little eyedropper, and it just says, eye drops are technically blinker fluid.
Boo.
Oh, come on. No, I love that shit. You know I love those coincidental motherfuckers. I Am Awesome Sauce making their second appearance in a row. Says, I always carry a pebble with me to throw at people who sing Christmas songs in October. I call it my Jingle Bell Rock. Come on, was that better, Michael? Come on, Labune.
I did like it better, actually. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Like I said, I love Christmas songs, but yeah, wait till Thanksgiving, guys. Come on. All right, House of Geekiness just posted like a little print of like a Victorian woman, we'll call it, working at like a wood stove making food. And it says, sorry, I've been a bad friend. I've been busy being an awesome hermit. And I feel this because I don't leave my chair if I can help it. Like, I am one with my chair. I am a hermit. I love this shit. So I feel that one.
Nice.
Okay, moving on. Apparently that sucked. Okay, fuck off.
No, it just feels good. I'm the same.
Okay, gotcha. Friend of the show, Jason Jester, once again, just post a picture that he said, poor lady. It says, I'm so sick of people making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just leave her alone. And it's just a picture of a very leathery looking dog, the bounty hunter, just looking like a pair of just worn out saddlebags.
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that that Dog the Bounty Hunter, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Diamond Dallas Page all look exactly the same?
I have never seen the three of them in the same location. I'm just saying.
See,
it's
that's
like,
me too.
It's like Smash Mouth, Guy Fieri, and the guy from ICP.
Nice.
Moving on.
Boom.
All right. Alternative Disney posts a wonderful picture of, if you've seen the movies Utopia, they had the brilliant idea to put sloths working in the DMV. Well, yeah. here we have a picture of a very typical looking, anywhere near you America DMV, with a dude in a green shirt and a sloth mask. It says a DMV employee dressed up as a sloth, skull emoji, the laughing crying emoji. That man is, buy that man a beer or beverage of his choosing. Love that. All right. Next up, we got next, yeah, here we got from a friend of the show, All Pro Lines. This is my last one for this round. All Pro Lines. You should follow them. Friend of the show, run by friend of the show, Kostaki Economopoulos, biggest name in comedy. He posted a picture of Tom Brady and soon-to-be ex-wife Gisele Bündchen looking at each other. And says, usually when a Florida man and his wife have it out, it involves Jim Beam, crystal meth, a Waffle House, and an alligator. That's yeah, that tracks. Tom, not a friend of the show. I don't like you at all. You are a scumbag of a human being. I hope she takes all your money, bitch. And I don't even like her either.
Yay.
All right. Yeah, I'm done. That's yeah. Back to you, Sizemore.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's all right. So yeah, okay.
So just off the top of my head here, next time we do this, we should put me in between TD and Sizemore.
I can lead off.
Have a Michael sandwich.
Here's what I think we should do: is we need to have a kid that runs TD stuff instead of me.
I already have 2 kids. I'm not having any more kids, especially not with you 2 fuckers.
Well,
Oh, come on. I'd make a great mom.
You would, but fuck no.
I bake cookies like 2 or 3 times a
Look,
week.
I can't afford the kids I got. There's no way.
That's fair. That's fair.
No way.
oh shit. It's not quite the right one. God damn it. All right. Editing and post, same as I promise every week.
Yeah, we'll let it in post.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys.
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Audience people, my apologies.
Labune, I just got 2 new Christmas shirts yesterday in the mail. I am prepping for Christmas. I already got my holiday baking schedule planned out already. But I'm not ready for the music. Knock it off.
All I want for Christmas.
What is okay. Okay.
But it do. You need me to sing another verse?
I just
Spoiler. I don't know the words.
Okay. I just watched pages on my computer just reset themselves.
Look, you don't get around. That's it. You don't get around. What are we on?
Oh, because you're all like loaded for bear.
I'm ready. We can just skip over you for that one, and you can jump back in round 3.
I'm good.
You ready?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm just gonna.
You good? You got it?
I'm gonna do it. Yes. I'm gonna do it.
All I want for Christmas is you. You ready?
All right.
I just
All
want my
right.
2 front teeth.
All
My
right.
2 front teeth.
Round 2, the irreverent round. It is that time of year again when Fox News flips out and decides to tell us all that there are drugs in our Halloween candy. So this year, hot on the heels of the candy-colored fentanyl, which was really funny. That's all it was. It was candy-colored. It was disguised as candy. It wasn't being given out as candy, but they did wall-to-wall coverage of it. So now parents are freaking out about fentanyl. And hot on those heels, of course, are the memes, which are all essentially... Be sure to check your kids' candy this Halloween. Somebody tried to hide this piece of shit in this candy bar. We got a picture of Snickers on the end, and someone's taking a bite out of it. And in the end is Tucker Carlson with his "I want to see a manager" face on and looking. So anyway, I absolutely love this theme. It's just been huge. We've got this picture here, and it says, "Warning." Another Snickers bar snapped in half. Says, "Warning, parents, please check your kids' candy." Inside it says, "YouTube has begun hiding video advertisements inside Halloween candy this year."
Oh no.
Another one again. This is a bowl of candy, a lot of Reese's, a lot of Crunch Bars, some Butterfingers, and oh, what is that little red book in there? Attention, parents, please be sure to check your children's candy this Halloween. I just found a copy of the Communist Manifesto hidden in my kid's bag under a Kit Kat.
Oh no.
That actually is a good idea.
And then things start to escalate. PSA, make sure you check the candy on Halloween. If you look closely, there's a razor hidden in this apple. Got an apple with a safety razor just stuck through it, like the handle is just very blurry and unobtrusive. And the thing is, too, is that you know how these things work. There starts to be, a bit of an arms race. It's like, oh, okay, if that was hidden in there, then we got to get bigger. So now we've got, attention parents, please be checking your kids' candy. I found this in a Twix. It's a Glock. I'm pretty sure that's a 9mm handgun with just some caramel stretched as though it were inside Twix.
very expensive gun.
Yeah, just
Very
went
It's
on.
giving away on Halloween.
Other picture here is Snickers bar with a lit cigarette coming out the end. Just found this in my child's Halloween candy. Remember to check the trick or treat candy.
I'm going to throw this in there along with the gun. You know how much guns and cigarettes cost these days? You're not giving that away.
This next one's a bit of a series that I shared with our friend Dean. This first one is from Cullen and Katie. It says, parents, please don't forget to check your kids' Halloween candy. I just found a razor in MG's stash. We see a candy spilled all over the floor and a razor clearly labeled razor scooter. and a dad squatting over it going, oh, how could this have happened? Next off, parents, make sure to check your children's trick-or-treat bags this Halloween. I just found a belt-fed machine gun in mine. And then M60 and the rounds on the belt intertwined with some sweet tarts, some raisinets, a couple dum-dums, etc. And you're wondering, like, where could this go? Well, please check your children's candy very carefully this Halloween. Found an M4A3E8 Sherman tank in this box of Pocky. We see the tank. Now, I don't know if you know me very well, but Michael and I have a friend that whenever I see a razor, a belt-fed machine gun, a Glock, and a Sherman tank, I say, I got to send this to Dean. To which he replied, you know, those last three you could totally see in Paxton.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Especially the belt fed.
Those could all happen. Anyway, I thought that it couldn't go any further than the Sherman tank.
Sherman?
No, I was totally wrong, because there we see ounces and ounces of weed with a Kit Kat in the middle. It says, "Attention, parents! I found all of this weed in my son's Kit Kat. Please check your kids' candy on Halloween." And the perfect response: be careful out there, guys. Just found Halloween candy in my medical marijuana. Big bag of buds with a Laffy Taffy inserted in the middle. I'm going to stick with the Snickers theme. I got three more left here and handing it back to you, Michael, man. My favorite this morning, AFSME posted, this is the Indiana AFL-CIO reposting, AFSME, be diligent and check your child's candy this year. I found a union card in my daughter's Snickers. Now she's renegotiated her allowance and wants hazard pay for taking out the trash. No words. AFSME union card in the middle of the Snickers, which I thought was pretty good. And this was an interesting one that I was unaware of. This little 2-panel headline on Reddit says, Snickers to remove the big dick vein energy from its chocolate bars. And on the left, we see a Snickers that looks to be like one of those, I don't know, it's like a foot long and 2-3 inches wide. And I mean, there's more than one dick vein on that. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, there's 3 visible in the picture. Big dick vein energy on the Snickers bar. And then apparently Snickers has introduced a new one, and it's just smooth.
I don't like it.
Smooth.
It is not as appetizing looking.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It is not.
So anyway, and for the final round, the closer on this one, same picture with the foot long and the smooth one. This one is a 2-panel labeled "The Chocolate She Tells You Not to Worry About." And you.
Yeah.
No, he don't mean nothing.
He just a friend.
All right, how do I stop? Michael, take over.
I got it.
Thank you,
So round 3, the penultimate round, starts with Kim at Luna Kim with 2 M's, and it says, "If you don't want me, there's the door." And then you see a door opening up to a brick wall. The ugly side of Tumblr. We love you, the ugly side of Tumblr, even if you are the ugly side of Tumblr. It's a picture of somebody who just got an Uber Eats notification, and it says, "Be prepared to meet Jesus outside." And then in huge impact font, it says, "Did Uber Eats just threaten me?" And then Vixen, of course, says, Your last supper has arrived. Fear of going out. Thank you for understanding me. They say, this is the kind of inspirational message that I need. And it's a picture of Oscar the Grouch with sunglasses on and like not quite aviators, but close. And it says, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called garbage can, not garbage cannot.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a picture of a man who is looking very, very sad, frowning with his whole face. He looks like Gary Shambling. And it says, it takes 45 muscles to frown, but only 10 muscles to smile. Frown all day, lose weight, get ripped. From Zoot Goat. Acid Freak with a PH has a picture of this man who looks like he's got his nose in a glass of whiskey, and he's looking at the camera over the top of his glasses, and you see a woman doing something behind him. And it says, I once watched a YouTube video of a guy reviewing scotch while his girlfriend packed her shit and left him in the background. Just for the record, that's the Snickers with the vein right there. This is this is 3 panels. First, Samwise Gamgee, and he says, don't do it, Mr. Frodo. AutoZone will give you $10 in store credit. And then you see Frodo Baggins, who's at the very end of the movie, and he's holding up a car battery, and he says, it belongs at the bottom of the sea. And then the last thing you see is the car battery being thrown into the ocean, and Gollum is underneath it trying to catch it. Look, it looks like I cropped out who this is attributed to, but it's just judging by the content here, this is without a doubt Trash Can Paul. This says, it's a picture of the ocean with a circle and a line through it. And it says, stop exploring the ocean. We all know what water is, thanks. There's no single damn thing in there I want to see. We found everything that tastes good. 1, crab. 2, fried shrimp. And then lastly, 12,301,320 undiscovered jellyfish. Go to hell. I got 2 more for this round. Glow fuck yourself. Good to see you. Glow fuck yourself. Friend of the show, Glow fuck yourself. It's a picture of a young woman and a young man. They both have their hands up like, what? Kind of smiling. And it says, when he's a 10, but he accidentally got my mom pregnant when I was out of town, and they are keeping it. So now I don't know if he's my boyfriend or stepdad.
No.
What are you going to do?
Sweet home
And
Alabama.
my last meme for the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Jesus memes for liberation. We have Tucker, and for Fox News, Tucker Carlson tonight. And the reel says, dangerous radical is a threat to American values. And then up in the corner, we see this dangerous radical who's a threat to American values, and it's a picture of Jesus.
Racially accurate Jesus at that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have said white Jesus.
Oh, fair enough.
It's just regular.
Fair enough.
It's just regular Jesus. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
this is a show for blind people, so I was just making sure they got the description properly. You know?
Listen, I'll never forget when my daughter was walking between me and my old man, and get TD's next setup ready.
Yeah, I got it.
And
lock and load.
As we're walking into this church, and my daughter says, "Who's that a statue of?" And my dad looks at her and he goes, "Parker, you know who that is?" And she goes, "No, I don't. Who is it?" And Dad goes, "That's Jesus." And my daughter goes, "That's not Jesus. That's a statue of a white man." And my dad looked at me, and I looked at my dad, and he goes, "Yeah, all right." All right, back to you, TD.
You know what I think is funny too? Next time somebody says to me, "Have you found Jesus?" I'm going to say, "He's in Act 2." Round 2 on my show. That's where he's at.
That was round 3, penultimate round. For the record.
Round 3. That's where he's at.
That was round 3, penultimate round. For the record.
Round 3, penultimate round. Back.
All right. For my penultimate round, we're gonna kick it off with for my penultimate mound. We're gonna kick it off with who will save Generation X posting. a picture of like a small stuffed toy koala. Looked like it's tucked in bed, blanket on a pillow, and it's got a larger Kermit the Frog puppet with its hand gently on the koala's head, and the koala's labeled 8-year-old me homesick. And the Kermit the Frog is labeled Bob Barker and the Price is Right. And if you grew up at a certain time, if you were sick, it was Bob Barker, chicken noodle soup, Sprite, 7-Up if you were bougie, and that was it, man. And the saltine crackers.
And barfing.
And lots of barfing.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
moving on.
Kids don't barf as much as they used to.
But when they do, I think they have more volume.
Diane listening at work says, and PBS. Very true.
Yeah, lots of Mr. Rogers and Frugal Gourmet.
Guys, you wouldn't believe it. There were shows that would teach you metric. When I was a kid, I learned all the metric. I was really good at it. And then we didn't switch to it.
Because that would make sense.
Right. Yeah.
America.
Yep.
All right. Friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of yours, Blunts and Bongs. They post a simple question. What are you going to be for Halloween? Me, high as fuck. Thank you.
That's true.
I think that's all we need to say there.
Illinois.
Illinois, love you. Janks post again, just a simple saying of Sunny D tastes like someone made a bet they can make orange juice without oranges.
Yeah,
that's really good.
It's so true. I mean, I'll put cheap vodka in it, don't get me wrong, but it's not made from an orange, bro.
Wow.
Next.
It had to be said.
Yeah, it had to be said. Friend of the show, Baking Will Bake. If you're not following Baking Will Bake at Couchman Bakes on Twitter, what are you doing with your life? Honestly,
pull it together.
Pull it together. But he posted a picture here of a very disgruntled and grumpy looking skeleton. Eyebrows furrowed, mouth open, hands in a very not happy manner, and just says, "When you don't find marijuana edibles in your Halloween candy like the news warned you about," and the skeleton's going, "Excuse me, what the fuck?" Yeah, like I was promised some Eddies,
I want to see a manager.
Yeah. Where are my special brownies?
You promised me 24/7 on Fox News for the last 14 years.
And I'm running low on razor blades.
I gotta laugh at you, Labune. It's like you and me are on the same wavelength because I got a 3-panel Lord of the Rings from our friend Chris Spangle. And the first one is just someone holding the one ring, and the one ring is labeled raw cookie dough. Next we have Elron. He's labeled as the CDC. He goes, "Cast it in the oven, bake it." And next we have Isildur smirking, looking bad, and he just labeled me going, "No." And as a guy who bakes a lot, yes, the amount of raw dough I've eaten by now, I'm immune to salmonella, guys.
Funny.
That's all I got. Okay, next.
All right, here we go.
Friend of the show, friend of the people, Cats on Cocaine. They got a picture of a very large and round and corpulent kitty, and there's an empty bag of Cheetos next to it, and the cat's got orange paws and orange dust on its face, and it just says, "Rat Cheetos, Karen." I feel that.
All
Karen,
cats are the
we
same, man.
ain't got no snacks. All right. If from Skeletor makes me happy, mwaha. Friend of the show. It's a picture. It looks like it's probably like an engagement picture, and it's a man who says, "Real men marry nurses," and then we have a woman who's holding a stethoscope, and it says, "Real women marry cops." So obviously the woman is a nurse, and the other guy apparently is a cop, and just a Skeletor below it going, "Well, at least she can treat her own black eye." Damn. Hey, cab. All right. Moving on.
I like that one a lot.
I cracked me up.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, the Dab King, post a picture of like two, 30-some, early 40, maybe, suburban housewife looking ladies standing talking in the middle of a grocery store. It says, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. Let's stand in everyone's fucking way and talk about our annoying ass kids."
I have been in this grocery store.
Oh
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I've been on this street in a small town with 2 SUVs.
No, dude, all the back roads that I take to go places because I don't like driving the main roads because I'm paranoid. Yeah, just especially this time of year, farmers just sitting in the middle of the road, just blah 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 blah. Like, guys, I got places to go. Moving on. Speaking of places to go,
Yeah, that's right. Boom. There we go.
it's my last one for this round. Eric, I love you, you goofy man.
Thank you.
What should have been my alma mater, Bacon University, friend of everyone, post. It's been a tough day. I need bacon. It's a picture zoomed up of some very delectable looking, perfectly crisp bacon, and it says, "I need a hug for 6 slices of bacon." You know what? Forget the damn hug. And I agree. I agree with that. Bacon makes the world go round, and my cardiologist mad.
I could go for either of those. Yeah, bacon and a hug. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, like if someone wants to give me a hug, I'm down for it. If someone wants to give me a hug and a bacon sandwich, my mental health is happy.
Dude, I see this guy.
Andrew, at this point, anybody giving you bacon is not your friend.
That's true.
You should not let them give you a hug.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I'm with your cardiologist on this one. Fuck.
I just had a bacon sandwich yesterday. I'm fine.
So far.
So far. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
All
right, is this our final one here?
Yeah, I think that was the
That was
final one
it?
for this round. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right. So now I'm going to go back to this and get my stop. And then I figured out what it was. I was hiding the controls while I was doing the show. And then it gets very confusing for me as to how to get back to doing the show. You guys don't care. I'm just bantering with myself at this point.
Not bantering. It's meaningless words you're filling the silence with.
Yammering.
There you go.
I'm killing it with yammering. You didn't think I was done with the Halloween candies? No, here we go. Parents, remember to check your kids' Halloween candy. Thank God I noticed this in my Snickers yesterday. And this is a half-eaten Snickers, but you're looking down the barrel of a Ted Cruz bursting from the nougat. Oh.
No.
Now, what was interesting about this is that when I looked at it, I remembered that, the FDA does permit a certain amount of rat feces and different kinds of stuff like that. So I looked it up, and in actuality, it is perfectly acceptable to have 30 or more insect parts and some rodent hair. And I realized that is my new favorite euphemism nickname for Ted Cruz. 30 or more insect parts and a sprinkling of rodent hair. Or
rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, and I'm workshopping it. Or how about this one? Feces pieces.
Ooh, it's got a ring to it.
Better,
I think that's marketable.
It's kind of like Reese's Pieces. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we can market this.
All right, feces pieces it is. Senator Feces Pieces from Texas. AKA 30 or more insect parts and a sprinkling of rodent hair. I mean, really, they're so descriptive. You know who you're talking about here. This next one is an action figure from Retro Gimmick, which is packaged like the old Star Wars figures with the picture of the character and then the character, in plastic, the little action figure there right in the plastic. And this is Wilford Brimley, a posable action figure. There's just huge caption. I'm Wilford Brimley. I heard to talk about diabetes. Diabetes in the Star Wars from Kenmore, whatever the company was.
Kenner.
Diabetes. Anyway, we did so much candy. That's where it was going. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I mean, logical.
Clearly, thank you. Moving on. This is conservatives making up stuff and then getting angry about it. I do not recommend you follow them. I get about 100 a day, fresh, hundreds and hundreds of things from conservatives making things up and getting mad at it. But this one's from Arnaldo Rodriguez, who passes along this from Liberty Hangout. And it's a 3-panel of a man looking to the left, a man looking straight at you, and a man looking to the right. And it says, practicing my prison photos for when preaching the true gospel of Jesus becomes illegal. Just like, if you're not feeling the sweet, righteous indignation of oppression, here's your starter kit. Take 3 selfies and say, it's just,
Oh my God.
I know, it's
anything to be oppressed.
anything, just get it. You know, they see those. I think that's one of the reasons that they're so angry with the LGBTQ people. They're just like, why are they getting all the oppression? It's my oppression. All right, moving on. One more from them. Conservatives making things up and then getting mad about it. Ben Rifen shares this from Liberal Logic 101, and it's the 2-panel with Jerry the cat, and he's reading a book, and it says, this school book is about arithmetic. It doesn't contain any instructions on how to have good anal sex. And then we see Jerry, red in the face, smoke coming out of his eyes, and he is labeled liberals who are so mad that this math book doesn't contain any instructions on how to have good anal sex. I don't even know what to do with this, but anyway, I get literally about 100 fresh new ones every day in conservatives making shit up and then getting mad about it. All right, moving on. Got about 2 more for this, and then we'll go on to the post with the most. This is a close-up here because I want you to be able to see the detail on this man's vest. Looks like it's got camo sleeves, an American flag on the right arm, and it's got an American soldier with an M16 in profile, or, you know, in silhouette on the back with an American flag, and it's captioned, "Don't ever think that the reason I am peaceful is because I forgot how to be violent." And we're going to zoom out here, and it is captioned appropriately, "Bro, you're in a PetSmart walking a pair of corgis. Calm the fuck down."
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh my God. Remember the one with the guy in Subway just strapped? I mean, just like 4 weapons, 19 clips, you know what I mean? In the Subway in Mayberry. Just like, why are you scared? Okay, second to last, then going on to the post with the most. This is a picture, I believe, an actual product. This is a cereal box, and these are milk chocolate covered gummy bears, and they are named Dingleberries.
No.
No.
Absolutely no nutritional value added, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And my friend Mike Barkley posted this one, and my favorite response was my friend C saying, "Why would I buy something I can make at home?"
Oh man, I just looked it up. It's real.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
real.
The artwork was a little too good for fake stuff, so I was pretty amazed. But
Wow.
I captioned this as "Every day we move further." And immediately
Yeah.
my friend JB replies with the "Every day we stay further from God's light." And I was like, you just get me, Jason Brown. You get me, okay?
Oh.
Dingleberries. Milk chocolate covered gummy bears, people. We did it. We did it.
They're expensive too. Fuck, man. $11 a box. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Those
supply
better
chains.
better be like THC gummies.
It's Dingleberry supply chain issues there, man. All right. Heading back to Michael with the post with the most.
All right, my post with the most for this week comes to you from friend of the show, sponsor of the show, Middle Class Fancy. That's right, Middle Class Fancy. It's not upper class fancy. It's not lower class fancy. It's Middle Class Fancy. And they're retweeting Renee Knott, spelled with a K, who has a picture of a sloppy Joe, and it says, "So do you call it a sloppy Joe or a yip yip?" Hashtag TISL. Middle Class Fancy wants to know who in the super fuck is calling it a yip yip. And that was my post with the most.
Yay! All right.
And now
Fantastic.
back to Eric for Andrew T's post with the most.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
I'm technically an idiot. That's what he's saying with that. Okay. My post the most, it's a picture. This is how high the gas prices are. It's just a picture of Snoop, Cheech Chong, and Willie Nelson. And boy, I don't really have to go into much more detail on what they're probably doing in this picture.
That picture is very, very high. Astronomically high.
That is my Mount Rushmore of stoners, by the
Yeah.
way.
That picture is in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so high, elevated. You can't even call it high. It's elevated like the Dalai Lama.
You
It's
know,
too high.
note
It's too
over
high.
Snoop's hair. That is just haze. It's almost a purple
Yeah.
haze.
Yeah.
Haze.
Mm.
Oh.
But yeah, that's my post the most this week. Eric, what you got, buddy?
On to my post with the most, and statistically, you're probably already guessing. Yes, it is.
Yeah, buddy.
On to my post with the most, and statistically, you're probably already guessing. Yes, it is Halloween candy themed. Hey, parents, please check your kids' Halloween candy. Just found Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights inside of a peanut butter cup. Stay safe this Halloween.
That's awesome.
Oh man,
Dude, that's my favorite one, dude. And that is our post with the most, wrapping up an episode of Facebook for the Blind for October 18th, 2022. Mwah!
Woo. Love you, George.
Stop.